3 months. 3 months is all that is left in this 2025. And most of you might be thinking that what actually we can do with these 3 months. But these 3 months is more than enough to actually make the shift in your life and to do something which will have a greater impact, and you would be able to achieve that you have been aspiring for the next 1.5 years, maybe 1 year, 2 years, whatever it is. If you have been procrastinating over the last 3 to 4 months, or maybe you have taken one of the resolution in this year on the 1st of January 2025 to make something or to create something in this year itself, and I was not able to do this. If it is the case, then I think you are on the right way. And in this video, I'm just going to mention what actually I need to do in these 3 months, and also what you need to do. Even if you are not sure what actually you need, you will be able to figure out in this video and start executing on those. And by the end of these 90 days, you will not be the way you are now. You will not be the persons who you are currently. And by the end of these 90 days, you will never be the same as you are now. And in the end of this video, I will be mentioning one of the point which is very crucial to know, because if you know that point, you will change yourself from the day one. You will not be waiting for the next 90 days itself. And when I'm saying this 90 days, I came to realize one of the incidents which happened with me when I was in my diploma and I was doing my computer science at that time. One of the subject which we needed to attend twice in a week, and one of the teacher was to leave the school to go for their one of the important reason, and he was about to leave for the next 2 weeks. And at that time he was there, given us a lot of the books in the bookshelf and instructed us to take one of the book according to your interest and read the books and come back whenever you wish. And when we get into this bookshelf, I was searching for the book which might be interested of me, but I was not interested by the book which I have chosen. In the front cover of the book, it was written 50 millions has already been solved. And then I came to realize what actually this book is. 50 million, 15 million has already been solved. Even if in this era no one is so much interested in reading the books. And that was the time the first ever non-fiction book I have chosen there. And when I came to home, I read this book 3 times, and every time I was reading the books, I was aware of what actually the information in this book was. I wish I could have known this knowledge maybe when I was in my schooling of early age. The information and the knowledge and the practical information was in such a way I was not even aware. And those information was not given by any of the normal peoples. It was given by the elite in their own specific field. And I just picked the book, read it, and I know there was 6 to 7 lessons. When I read the first page of the book, or first of the lessons, first chapter itself, it completely blew my mind. And from then, I used to be the one who would read the books, at least one in a month. And yes, this book taught me a lot of the lessons, and I still remember, when I'm just going to mention 90 days, I still remember one of the rule. I have been keeping it for myself itself for the last maybe years. And this rule is 90-91. It just simply says for the next 90 days, for the first 90 minutes of every single day, you have to devote your complete effort and full of focus and dedication towards something which is very important to you to change your life. So 90 days for the first 90 minutes of the day in one single most important thing you have to give. And you will be leaving 95% of the people behind of you. And this is the reality. Because when I picked these rules, I have been following for years. And whenever any kind of habits I need to build, whenever any kind of thing which I have to mastery upon, I use this book to build the momentum on the first time, and then mastery upon this. And even this 90 days, you will get to see the results, what actually the value in it is, if you are properly implementing this. So as I have already mentioned, that what actually I'm going to mention, or what actually I'm going to do in these 90 days, and what actually I'm expecting you to do these things, so that you will never be the same person as you are these days. And when I say you have to disappear, it just simply doesn't mean that this world doesn't matter for you. It simply means that you matter the most. Your life has a lot of importance, and your life matters the most. And that is what actually you need to prioritize the first. And what actually you need to do in these 90 days. Disappear means, it just simply means you have to be someone who would be so much focused on something which you really have aspiration to achieve. And in this phase, you might be asked by someone, what actually happened with you? Why are you behaving so much of like this? But in general, you are trying to change yourself. Because if you have been doing the thing for the years of your past, that is actually the result of what you are now. So if you are doing something differently, that is the only option you could expect, something different and completely new of you. It is not something the resolution of this year is going to be changed. Most of you might be procrastinating over them, that okay, I will set my resolution for the next 1st of January 2026 and I will start executing those. But if you are the one who is starting from the day one itself and not even waiting for the 1st of January, you will be leading at least 95% of the people. And when I say it, I mean it. Because I have also done the mistake, and I do not want you to make the same mistake, or else it is going to cost you to be the one who you have always been for the past. Instead of, you should take one of the steps to change, and you will be changed. And I know most of you won't be able to do this, because only 10% of the people will be able to make their life change. The problem here not is something like this 90 days less, but the problem is most of them is not able to focus on something that really matters. When I'm saying that, I remember one of the quote, the magic you are looking for is in the work you have been avoiding. And I also know most of you won't be able to do this because it just needs sacrifices. And being in the field, being in the momentum of getting dopamine and not able to do the hard stuff which really matters to you to change your life, you won't be able to do this. And this is not for sure for everyone. Only 10% of the people would be able to do this. And in this resolution, in advance of 90 days, I'm just going to cover 3 things. The first one is about your life, what actually you want to do, you have been aspiring of. Second one, it will be related to health. And the third one, it would be related to cut your toxic distraction. Whatever it is, you might be distracted by going to the parties, and you are saying every time yes whenever your friend is asking for. It might be you are so much addicted of smartphone and reels. Whatever it is, you just have to cut it down as soon as possible. So the first one here would be the most important thing which you need to do, and the second one we will be covering on related to your health, and the third one, you have to cut the distraction. And you might be decided that okay, we'll have to do for the next 90 days, and I'm not just going to say it for the just hope. You have to be pre-planned for it. So you have to plan for the next 90 days in advance, and I will be just covering these 5 points, and in which you will be able to figure out what actually you need to do and how you would be able to do this and what actually it would affect your life to change you from 1 to the day of 90. So the first point here is you should be clear with why you want to do something which you really want to do. And if you're not even aware that what actually you need to do, then you should first ask one question. What is it something that you have been putting off for the months or maybe years, or you might be avoiding something in order to achieve something? That should be the point you have to take into consideration of. Because if you are not even clear enough why actually you want, I'm for sure you will be quitting in between. Because according to my experiences, whenever I was not even sure why actually I want what actually I've been doing. I was not consistent and not even persistent on that. And here persistent means if you have been doing something for the next 90 days, you might be given at least 4 to 5 hours a day. Maybe due to some reason, you are just going to give 1 to 2 hours a day. That is what actually the persistency is. You are not quitting a day. So we should be first clear enough why we are going to do something, what we are doing. And then after second one would be, you should be clear enough what actually you want to do. You might be saying something like, okay, I will start going for the gym for the next 90 days. You might be saying, I will have to prepare enough to appear into the examination. No, it is not to be the way. You should be clear enough. It might be something like, I have to gain 5 kg in the next 3 months. I have to lose 8 kg in the next 2 months. Whatever it is, it must be specific. It might be I have to create a content for the next 90 days. And in these 90 days of interval, we'll have to upload at least 20 videos. You should be clear enough what actually you are going to do this. And the third one is have a routine. Because if you do not have the system, your motivation will fade away. You just have to build one of the routines. You should start every day, every single day in advance. What does it mean is, before even you are going to the bed, you have to be clear enough what actually you need to do next day. And in your list, at least should be 3 to 4 tasks which you have to do at any cost. And the fourth one is, you should be accountable for yourself. You have to ask every single day by end of the day that what actually you have set for yourself. Is this something that has been completed in this list? Or is there any reason I could do better than what I have done? So this way you will be able to track whether you have been going with the plan which you have already decided or not. And the fifth one is, you have to record every single day in any kind of states that where your every single hour is going to be spent or be wasted. You should be clear enough that where your every single hour is going, and that's where you will be so much aware where your time is going on and what actually and how effectively you have been utilizing this. And that's why I'm just saying it for you that you do not just have to build the habit. Habit fails because it is emotional, and the system wins because it is trackable. And when I'm sharing these things, I'm not just saying for the sake of saying. I'm just going to do which I have been sharing here. I'm just starting one of the challenges with you, and so was. I also want you to be the one who will be taking any kind of challenge for the next 90 days. So the first one here is, I will be posting at least one video on every alternate day. It just simply means by the end of the 90 days, I will accomplish 45 videos. And here I'm not setting for 45 only. In this, by the end of this 2025, I will be uploading at least 50 plus of videos. And what actually the reason behind is, I will tell you later on in a one separate video why actually it is so much important to make the video even if no one watches it. And why you should also start making this even if no one watches this. And the second one here is, I will have to train myself to go for the exercise for at least 4 to 5 days every single week, because you have no such awareness how important is it for you. And for me actually, let me just ask you one of the questions. Suppose I'm just going to give you $1 million. Would you take it? Definitely you would take it. What if I'm just going to give you $100 million? Would you still take it? Yes, you will take it. And what would you say then? You will say thank you. You will be so much thankful of me because you got $100 million, right? But what if there is one catch? I will give you $100 million, but the thing is, you are not going to wake up next day. Would you still take it? Not. So you realize that even $100 million is very, very less than your life. Can you please imagine how important is it to have a good health? I was not even aware of previously, but when I was aware, it completely changed the way I think of my health. And that is one of the resolution is, I'm also going to take this forward for the next 90 days. At least 4 to 5 days, I will be continue doing the exercises. And the third one here is, which is completely related to my own industry in a software development field. So I will be building one of the projects. I will be making one of the separate video on explaining how important is it for us to be aware of every single thing related to the AIs and how it is going to be helpful for us in every daily task. And once you completed this 90 days, and I hope and I believe only 10% would be able to do this. If you are able to do this, it is not the end. It is just the momentum which you have set for yourself so that it is going to be one of the great one in your 2026. And in these 90 days, you will achieve much more than someone who is just procrastinating over the 1st of January 2026. You will always be ahead of them. 90% of them you will be ahead of. So this is the 90-day sprint, and I'm also asking you to follow the same. So let's see who is going to make it to the finish line and leaves the 90% of the world behind. And yes, the last point I wanted to mention here is, when you started at the first day, you should see yourself that you are already becoming that person. It is not a kind of thing that you have taken the admission in software engineering and now you have been thinking that after the completion of these 4 years, you will become an engineer. No. When you started in the first place, you should be thinking in such a way that you are now in the process to become an engineer. And this mindset will shift you to take the action accordingly. And that is what actually the reason is. If you want to become someone in these 90 days, from the day one itself, you have to see yourself that person. And your action definitely will follow your own point of view, how you see yourself. So this is what actually a very important point I wanted to mention. And the example I have taken from is one of the book, and the first and very important book of my life was in non-fiction field, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. The first ever book I have read in non-fiction, and if you are a student or if you are someone who has not even read any kind of non-fiction book, I highly recommend just go through this once and you will never be the same person again. Thank you very much for the time which you have given me, and definitely for the thank which you have given to yourself. And by the end of the next 90 days, you will thank yourself. Till then, have a nice life, and definitely we'll see you very soon in this journey itself.